Hello everyone, I am here to answer your questions. So a week ago I had you ask whatever questions you wanted answered and told you that I would be back on Friday to answer them, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'll just, without further ado, just going to tear into it, take the first question and just go on from there. Alright, so the first question is from Cavalier Services. Okay, he says, can you please talk about your Florida lawn care operation? Did you close the shop in Florida? What happened to all your equipment and vehicles? And are you still in lawn care in Wisconsin? Thanks, Mark from Canada. Well, Mark, so yes, we did close up the business in Florida. There were a number of things that went on with that and a number of factors that went into that. Mainly, I guess it was just time. You know, we had ran into some difficulties down there with employees. Was probably the biggest thing. I know it was the biggest thing. And it was very hard to find guys that were not either on drugs or alcoholics to work for us. The workforce just diminished. And so we didn't, I mean, we could have had tons and tons of work, which we did. I mean, we lost thousands in work that we had that we couldn't even get to because our guys could barely tie their shoes, apparently. I don't know. Our meetings consisted of crayons and coloring books, you know. That's what we were dealt with down there. So I tried desperately to turn that around, and after 7 years we just said that was enough. We weren't going to do it anymore. So we sold the business and, of course, sold all the equipment with the business. So we are still in lawn care in Wisconsin. And yeah, things are going good here. So anyway, thanks for the question. Next question, Jackie Dorrington. So I've noticed a whole lot of Mosquito Police in your videos. Can you tell me about it? Yes, so the Mosquito Police, for example, is one of our new business ventures that we've gone into, which is a franchise. So it's a pest control franchise where we go after mosquitoes and ticks, okay? And we also do like spiders and ants and all that kind of stuff. So somewhat of an exterminator business, which has gone well for us. So we've had a lot of good luck with that, and we have branched out in that. I mean, we started out with just a pest control company here in Wisconsin, and then we decided to make it a franchise and sell them throughout the United States. So that's what we're doing, and that's what that's all about. The reason you see them in the videos is a lot of branding purposes. So I'm trying to get the word out there about our business, our franchise, so that you know, if people become interested in it, if they want to make good money, they can come on board with us, buy a franchise, and we can show them how to make good money, and that's just part of the whole branding process, you know. So that's that, I guess. Okay, so, and the other thing about them too, I mean, you know, the Mosquito Police actually sponsor all these videos. You know, they pay for all the editing and all the time and labor that goes into this stuff. So therefore, that's why we're doing it. All right, next question. This is from Barry Bark. Where do you get the music at the start of your videos? That is from the Video Studio Creator. They're in there, and if you go through them, you can find them. Just listen to each one as you go through there, and you'll find something that sounds really good, and then you just put it together and put it on a loop if you want, or whatever you want to do from there. All right, Mike O'Neill, I have a couple I've been fighting with, but you answered one in another video, but here they are. Number one, how do you mentally situate yourself with so much competition in your area? Let me read that again. How do you mentally situate yourself with so much competition in your area? How to view it without making it so negative? Let me think about that. I guess, I don't know how you mentally situate yourself with it, other than the fact that you just don't worry about it. I don't worry about any competition around me. I mean, we have like 5 or 6 guys that I know do mosquito control right around me, and we do fine. You know, we could grow a lot every year, so that's never been a concern. The landscaping, as far as that goes, and lawn care, I set my prices where they need to be, And I don't buckle for anybody, and I don't worry about competition. You know, I do enough marketing, and I think that's the key, and that may not be everything about your question here, but one of the keys to being in a position where you don't worry about your competition is you do so much marketing and you do it right so that you have a ton of leads coming in, so you don't have to worry about picking up every single job, because it doesn't matter. You know, I don't have to have every job. So I can take 1/10 of those jobs and still fill my calendar for the year. So I hope that answers that question. The other one, what to exactly say that makes you a better fit for your client. So what to say that actually makes you better in front of your client. I think to make you a better fit for your client, I think if you're just professional, you know, that's a big deal. You know, to come up there and be in uniform, you know, have a nice looking vehicle, be in uniform, you got to market first to get it even in front of that client. So I don't know if the question is leading me, let me read this again, what to exactly say, what to say that makes you a better fit for your client. I like to listen to the clients. I like to listen to what they're telling me. So be a better listener than you are a talker when you're in front of a potential customer. They're going to tell you their concerns, and then after they're done with them, then reassure them. Let's say if it's for lawn care, if it's shutting the gates was a big one, especially down in Florida, because everybody had dogs and stuff in the backyard. And if you didn't shut that gate, their dogs would get out, and you could mention to them that, hey, we really take pride in, you know, if they mention it like, yeah, my last guy, he let my dog out. Well, that's one of your highlight points, like, hey, we always make sure that we lock those gates behind us. That's right on our checklist. So they hear stuff like that. That's a good thing to say to help get you clients. But that's just one example. There's a lot of things you can say, but you have to listen to them. Let them tell you what the problems are, and then you become the solution. Okay, that makes sense? Okay, next question, Elijah S. What are the chief complaints of our industry, and how do you capitalize on them to get an edge on your competitors? There again, it kind of falls in line with the last thing. I can remember designing business cards that said, you know, we always answer our phone, or we're available 24/7, or we always lock our gates. And I used to put little bullet points on there all the time. But as far as what are the chief complaints, a lot of times I think it's just dependability. I think people, and especially in the lawn care field, I know this from the Florida days, down there's a problem with people being dependable, at least, you know, in my experience down there. A lot of these companies didn't show up every week to mow, and that was a problem. And so we would get phone calls from customers all the time, and that would be their chief complaint is that, you know, that we were, you know, they just can't find anyone dependable. And that's kind of the same thing anywhere you go. Everybody in every job or every business that we own, we have trouble finding good people and you know, qualifying people that are just good and people that'll stay with you. It's difficult. I think it's a chief complaint anywhere. But in our industry, I think that there's people that, and I don't see it happening a lot, but I do see people that go and take money from other people. Like you'll take the landscaping down payment. For example, we had one guy kind of go rogue in our town this last year, and he got into drugs, and he was a good guy, you know. He got into drugs and some bad things happened, and he was taking money from people he shouldn't, and you know, that's a problem. And I think today scammers, because people scam everybody out of money all the time. It's a constant thing. My parents get phone calls, we get phone calls, everybody, all my workers get phone calls from scammers all the time. So I think that that's a big problem too. You need to assure people that you're Honest Joe. You're the guy. If I say I'm going to be here, I'm going to be here. The other thing you can maybe tell them is, look, I'm going to make sure that I'm the guy on in this job site. I'll be here every day. Don't worry, I won't just send some guys here. Now this is like a landscape answer, I guess you would say. You tell them, hey, I'm going to make sure that I'm the guy that's on your project, because I love doing this kind of work, and you know, it's important for me to be here to make sure that you're happy with it. So you can say stuff like that. All right, I know I could talk about that forever, but hopefully that helps and gives you some idea. Okay. how's okay? Well, you know what? And just to end on that thing, you had talked about a little bit about the get the edge on your competitors. I think getting the edge on your competitors starts with your marketing, and your marketing has got to be better than theirs, because you want the phone to come to you, and that you want the phone calls to come to you, and you want to get those phone calls. So you talk about an edge, just answer your phone. That's a huge edge right there. Keep that phone right on you, and I don't care what you're doing. When that phone rings, you stop, you take the time, because you took the time to market to them, and you took the time to make the marketing materials and all of that. And the least you took the time to get, like say, the door hangers out and whatnot. The least you can do now is follow up. You have to follow up. Answer the phone. You're already got a huge edge on your competitors, because there's so many of them that let it go to voicemail. If I'm calling for a lawn care bid, I want somebody to find somebody to mow my grass or landscape for me, and you don't answer your phone, I'm calling another guy right behind you. I'm not going to wait for you, and that's the way customers look at things today. I'm the same way. If I need a plumber or electrician or something, I'm on the phone calling. I'm not going to leave it to your voicemail and just say, oh, well, I called that one guy, because half the time the one guy doesn't even get back to you, and the customers are used to that, you know. So you be Johnny on the spot. You answer that phone, and then the next thing you do is you get out there as fast as you can. If you have to give them a landscape estimate, obviously you can't do that over the phone. So get in your vehicle, get there as quick as you can. If you can't get there right away, find a time when you can. Set that time right then and there. Don't give them a reason to call somebody else. There's your edge. All right. Boy, that was long-winded. All right. How has the Mosquito Police venture been? Has it been going for 1 year to gauge its potential? This is from HH Progressive Construction. How has it been? It's been awesome. We have grown exponentially, and we've had it going for 3 years now. And even my own right here in my community, where we have a ton of competition, we were able to put on 3 vans in 3 years. So it's just exploded, and the market's there, the industry is there for it. It's new. It's not like lawn care where there's a gazillion guys doing it. There's very few people doing it, which is what makes it a lucrative market. It's like anything, you know. If you were the only guy that did lawn care in your town, and there are only 1 or 2 of you, you could pretty much set your price, and people have to pay it, because otherwise they're not going to get their grass cut, right? Well, most of you know there's hundreds of lawn care guys everywhere. I think in Florida when I was down there were 700 registered lawn care guys with the state. There were 700 of them down there that were recognized just in Brevard County. So I mean, you can just imagine statewide, you know. So, and I'm sure by you all have your competition too, you know. So this venture has been good for us, really good, because the market isn't saturated, okay? And that's why I think franchisees, when they purchase them, they do well, because it's so new to the market. You know, you're not buying a lawnmower company or a lawn mowing company or a landscape company where you have tons of competition. You just don't have that. So. All right, that being said, let's go on to the next one. This is from Billy Goat. I've been a long-time subscriber and have learned so much watching your videos over the years, especially during the Florida days with Ron and you. Was the business in Florida a failure? I'll stop right there. No, it wasn't a failure at all. We made a lot of money in Florida when we were down there. Now, the problem is we couldn't find qualified people. We couldn't find people that were worth a damn that we could leave there, and I think me being 1,600 miles away was a huge problem, because I couldn't be there overseeing everything that was being done. And even though I paid big money to put managers in place, it just didn't seem to matter. It just seemed like everybody we found turned out to be on drugs, or they were thieves or alcoholics. I mean, it was one thing after another. They were stealing our equipment, pawning it off, just a whole bunch of stuff. So can you explain why? You haven't talked about it much lately. Failure may not be the right word, but definitely a learning experience for you. Your money funnel has proven it otherwise. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Well, that's exactly right, and that's why we don't do that. That's why we have 8 different streams of revenue that come into our business. We do that so that if something does happen to one of them, like Florida, for example, things were going really, really good, and then all of a sudden they just started to take a dip. Well, instead of continue to fight at it and struggle with it from 1,600 miles away, we decided, you know what, it's not worth it. I could sell that business, take the money from that business, start something else up, and do a lot better at it here around me where I'm close enough to it where I can manage it, which is exactly what we did with the Mosquito Police thing, okay? So, and turns out we make way more money doing this than what we were doing down in Florida. Now don't get me wrong, there is a ton of work down in Florida. If you can't find work, you're just stupid, because there's work up the yin-yang down there. And you never have to look for it. It's there. That work is there. So we just couldn't find the quality people. That's the bottom line. We had to get out of it. It was just, you know, after watching it the last 2 years just slowly go down with people, and, you know, you kept trying to find them and recruit new people, and you just couldn't find them. You just could not find them. So it's terrible, but it is what it is. All right, this is from Garden D&G Landscaping. He said, Mr. G, greetings from Serbia. Well, look at that, Serbia. Holy smokes. That's a ways away. I don't know where. I know that's like in the desert somewhere or something, isn't it? Isn't that Serbia? It's got to be that. I feel like sand is flying through the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'm on board with that. Well, hello, and greetings from us here in the frozen tundra of Wisconsin, home of world champion Green Bay Packers. All right, next one, Daniel Tanui, looks like. What's the best approach when getting clients other than social media? I put out around 100 quotes in people's letterboxes and only heard back from one person. Don't want to nag them. Okay, well, let's see. Best approach when getting clients. What's the best approach to get clients? There's so many things that you can do, and a lot of times timing is a big part of it, okay? But if I have whatever the literature is that I happen to have, let's say for example this coaster thing, okay? If I design this, and it's for lawn care, for example, and I put this out 2 months before the grass is even growing good, it's not going to perform well. So timing is critical, but even more so than the timing is the actual print. What you have on there, how valuable is that, right? Because I've always said that you could have the best looking flyer on earth, and if you put it out at the wrong time, it's not going to perform. And at the same time, you can have a terrible looking flyer and put it out at the right time, but if it's terrible, that isn't going to produce either. So it is a combination of those. We do a lot of door hangers. We just do tons of door hangers, and I know you guys are saying, oh, that's dead, that's over with, and there's some guys that don't like doing it because now everybody has doorbell cameras. I don't know why everybody's worried about the doorbell cameras. I make faces in them. I think they're cool. It doesn't bother me in the least. I'm not there to steal the packages off their porch. I'm there to just distribute my material and move on, right? So I don't know why you guys are worried about it. And it's actually, we have good results. Good, super results. It's so direct. It's right to the people. And we time it out, and they're done at the right times. So the next thing, and we do, it's not the only thing we do, but that is a big part of what we do. And I think that it's direct to consumer. So if you put an ad on Facebook, a lot of times people might just scroll right through them. Or if you do every door direct mailers, I think those are horrible, because the only time we use those is if you can't get into a gated community. If you can't get into that community, then use the every door direct mailers, because at least then it's coming in their mailbox and they'll open it up and they'll have it. Pay-per-click advertising gets used. Facebook gets used. We have wraps on our vehicles. We have small yard signs that we use on every customer. We have 4-foot by 8-foot signs that we put out along major highways. So we do all kinds of different advertising. It's not just one specific thing. But if I had to narrow it down to the most effective thing we've ever done, by hands down, it's door hangers. Hands down, it is. You putting 100 in the quotes and you got one call, that's exactly right. You got it about right, which is about 1% return. That's what you can expect, a 1% return on your investment. If you hand out 100 door hangers, you should get one call. That's typical of what happens. I've seen days where you'd hand out 100 of them and I got 10 calls. And I seen other days where I handed out 100 of them and got no calls. So, you know, it's weird how that works. But, you know, on average, if you average the whole thing out, it's 1% or less. That's what you get with door hangers, in my opinion, or what we've done. All right, thanks for the question. I hope I answered that right. Okay, so Jay-Z's Cuts LLC. Do you run your business as LLC or S Corps? Well, LLC. And if you're LLC, how do you determine what percentage to pay yourself from the business? I don't pay myself anything for my business. Our LLC is set up in a way, there's so many different streams of income that come in. The S Corps, and again, I don't know this, you need to talk to a business professional on this, because everybody's going to be different. So S Corps might be better for solo guys, and LLCs might be better for other people, just depending on your specific circumstances. And I won't know them, but if you explain them to these business attorneys, those are the guys that give you the advice and help you determine which one will be better for you. I know when we did LLCs, I like the LLCs. They're simpler, they're easier, they're less paperwork involved, and with multiple streams of income that we have, it would just be a nightmare to keep track of everything, okay? So, there's that one. Let's see, could you give an example, a solo guy versus employees as an example? Again, you're going to have to talk to your business guy. I think I kind of answered that. I hope I answered that enough. I can't help you with that, just I'm not a lawyer, but they'll know when you tell them what your specific circumstances are, they'll be able to guide you in the the right direction, because even in your state's going to be different than mine, and so on and so forth. So there's going to be rules and regulations for all kinds of things. So, all right, Glorious Warrior, what's a good schedule for solo mowers? Well, here's what I will tell you. I know that I'm just going to talk time-wise. I'm not exactly sure what you're after, but time-wise, we don't get started real early in the morning, because if you do get out, people don't like to be woke up, especially if they've worked all night. They don't like to be woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning with a lawnmower outside their door. So time-wise, it's always 8 o'clock, and then we try to be done by 5 or 6, because again, they come home at night at 5 or 6, they don't want to be listening to your mower. They've had a tough day at work, they want to just come in and relax. So as far as the schedule, again, we try to do it Monday through Friday, because you don't want to do it on the weekends, because again, people are generally off on the weekends. They have other things they want to do. They don't want to listen to you cutting grass out there. That's been my experience. Hopefully I covered that. Dave Allen, George, on your typical lawn care or landscape quote, have you experienced that you are the only quote they get or even seek out? I have experienced that. However, I can tell you the tighter money gets, the more quotes people will get, obviously. But at the same time, lawn care is, well, they're both weird. I mean, I've seen guys with lawn care get 5 and 6 estimates. That money's got to be awful tight. But what I have found with landscaping, what I have been finding lately, is if you are Johnny on the spot, you answer your phone and you get there quick, odds are you can land them on the spot. You know, there's some tricks and techniques involved in that to help you achieve that, and I've done videos on it, and I'll continue to do them, explaining some of the things that you need to do to help you land that customer right then and there. But I think because of the lack of workers out there, I think things are definitely getting better for those of us who are working, because now they're happy and thankful just because you showed up out there. I've had a lot of them sign up. They didn't bat an eye at my price. They didn't care. All they cared about is you actually showed up. And then all of a sudden when they signed the contract, they're like, yep, we're going with you because we called 5 guys and you were the only one that called us back. Fantastic, you know. So hopefully that answers your question. You have another question, Dave Allen. George, because it is difficult to fill out crews in lawn care and landscaping, have you ever had to consider and hire some with a felon background or some with drug use and record, etc.? all day long. All day long that we have that. So it got to the point in Florida, like I said, if I had to piss test my guys in Florida, I wouldn't have had a single guy, not one. So that's how bad it got down there. And I think that's everywhere. I caught one of my guys here like 2 years ago. Great guy, caught him in one of my dump trucks, and I approached him at the door, and his legs were kind of up like this because he's driving and he's sitting in the seat like this, and he had these big cargo pants on, and I saw stuff falling out of his pocket. Here it was a syringe and a spoon and a lighter, so I knew the dude was shooting up, and I'm like, God damn it. And he was a great guy too, so I think it's in every business. I think everybody deals with it. Yeah, we're definitely not the only ones. So don't feel like you're the only one, because you're not. Okay, another one from Dave. George, from past videos, I know you run Gravely Zero Turns. Did you ever run Yamaha engines on them, and did you have problems with them? I have never had Yamaha engines, ever. I've always had the Kawasaki's. I think they're 27 horsepower Kawasaki's, and we've never had a problem with them. Those engines have been rock solid for us, and they're worked hard. So yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to buy them again. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, this is, I don't even know how to, Gwar Baby. If you had to choose between lawn care and landscape, which one would you choose and why? That's an interesting question. I'm glad I have different streams of the revenue. I do have the lawn care division and I have landscaping, both. And it's because I remember when I went through the 2008 recession that you couldn't buy a landscape job. You couldn't give them away. You could beg them. You dropped your price so low you barely made anything, and people just were not spending the money. Everybody panicked. The whole United States just kind of froze, And when that did, thank God we still had the lawn care, because the lawn care was our bread and butter, because people physically couldn't do their lawn, right? You get a lot of elderly people or handicapped people, they physically couldn't do that. The landscape job, the paver patio and the retaining wall and the nice beautiful lawn they want to put in, that can wait till things get better. Maybe one of them lost their job, so on and so forth, and things just tighten up for whatever reason. So having lived through that, I can tell you that I'm glad I had both, and to this day I will not get rid of lawn care because of that. Okay? Especially now, all the talk about it again, I've been through it, I've seen it, I know what happened, and I know that design install was horrible when the recession hit. So if it hits and it gets to be that bad again, then we're protected. We have other sources of revenue. So, okay, hopefully that explains that. Mike Thompson, hey George, how would you go about finding someone to cover your lawn care customers if solo and gone 3 to 4 weeks? I guess I would. You're a solo guy, it's going to be tough for you, because how do you do that? You would have to have someone that you took with you at least 1 week prior to you leaving, and you showed them the business. So it would have to be a friend of yours or something, or a couple of friends that maybe could help out together and do it for you, and you just give them the money during that time or something, because you're certainly not going to get someone hired for 3 or 4 weeks and then cut him loose at the end. If you let him know that, he's never going to come to work for you. So I guess I would try to find some friends if you're looking to get away for a vacation or something like that. I don't know how else you would do that. You got to have somebody. Maybe your father could do it, or maybe you got a brother that could help you out or something. But that's what I would check. All right, Bob Smith. In your experience, what more string trimmer brand have you found that is actually worth the money, maintenance, and product life? So many reviews out there on mowers, outdoor lawn equipment, and you have to wonder how much is BS. And then this Brighter Lawn Care added in, he's had videos on it. So if you do look at the best trimmer line on the planet on my channel, on Packard, it's called the best trimmer line on the planet. It's called Rotary. And it's a very awesome line. We still use it. I'm not switching back to anything. I swear by that line. So anyway, that's that. That's what I use. Matt Cartwright. question to get the ball rolling. Whereabouts are you in USA and why? We are in a little town called Antigo, Wisconsin. So that's where we're at. And why are we here? I was actually born here, and we moved away for a while. We used to live in Milwaukee, and I just decided I wanted to come back. The big city wasn't for me, so that's it. That's the answer to that one. Julian Semenuk. A video that I would really like to see, and would be a video on how to legally start a lawn care business. A video not on mowers, trucks, and equipment. Even though the equipment part of the business is awesome, I want to know the legal side of things and licenses that are required, and taxes and how to do them, and how to look for a CPA or accountant, and what government requires you to have by law. So this is where talking to a business lawyer comes in. And all you got to do is Google it. It's business lawyers, near me. And pop these guys up and go see them, because they're going to be familiar with all the laws in your state. Your state's going to be different than mine. So here, for example, I don't have to have a license to do lawn care, and I don't have to have a license to landscape. I do have a landscape business license because we're LLC. Same with the lawn care, falls under that. And then also, we have our pesticide licenses that we have to do the mosquito spraying. But other than that, you just have your typical, Wisconsin ID license. That's it. So, but you're going to have to find your lawyer to tell you that in your state. He's going to know what all the laws are there. Sorry, I couldn't help you more on that. Craig's Cuts came in. Julian, just start an LLC in your state. Yeah, it's not that easy, but it's, again, your lawyer's going to be able to better direct you on that stuff. All right, Rusty Nail. This is the last question I have. Rusty Nail, long-time viewer, I know. Let's see, mine would be an entire new video. How did you fully start? How did you fully start? And what I mean by that, did you get an LLC, and how did you get insurance and all? An A to Z crash course into starting a full-blown business. I can easily find out by Google, but would much rather watch and learn from you. I'll try to do a video on this to help you out a little bit. But again, a lot of this is going to be focused on your state. I don't know where you're at, what you're doing, and your laws change. So, for example, my Mosquito Police business, I know that from the first year that I obtained my pest control license, all I had to have was an aquatic mosquito license. And then year 3, they came back and said I had to have a turf and landscape license as well, just to spray for mosquitoes, because I was advertising for ticks. So, spraying mosquitoes and ticks. So I had to have 2 licenses, okay? That changed in 1 to 3 years when I started. So whatever I could tell you today isn't going to work tomorrow, because there could be something in the works even right now that could change. But a business lawyer in your town that structures businesses specifically for you and helps you get set up, it's going to cost you a few $100s to get this done, no doubt, but you do need to get it done. LLCs are extremely important, I think, because it separates you more from the business if something were to go wrong. So they can't physically come and take any of your property, any of your home. They can't come and take your home or your cars or anything like that. Now, if it's in the business name, it's a different story. And there's a lot of intricate stuff that goes into it, and each state is different. So without getting into that, contact your attorney. That's the best advice I have for you. I do appreciate you being a long-time subscriber. I know you have been. You comment a lot. And all of you guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to ask me these questions, and I hope I've been able to help you guys out. And leave me comments down below and let me know whether or not this was a good idea. It's something that you'd like to see more of. If you do, maybe we'll do one every month or every couple of months or something like that. But let me know in the comments what you guys want to do, and we'll go from there. Thanks.